So how far could Supermicro computers stock price go over the next 6 months? That's the question really that we want to look into. So we're going to answer that question by looking at some technicals, and I'll go through a couple of the options that have come through over the last couple of days, Thursday, Friday, that give us some confluence over whether or not we could be right or wrong. So let's make a start, and then we'll finish off with potential targets. So just looking at the actual chart itself, really nice chart. It's exploded over the last year. What's it done? In 2024, it's gone up 300%, which is phenomenal. So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be looking to short this because they think it's gone up too far too fast, and so they'll be looking for it to have a big pullback. And they're the kind of people that will help us see higher prices. So thank you to them in advance. Next week we've got some interesting data bombs that we're likely to impact volatility. So on Tuesday in particular, we've got core CPI, and core CPI is the primary measure of inflation that the Federal Reserve uses to gauge what it's likely to do with interest rates. And interest rates is one of the biggest factors that drives asset prices in general. There's plenty of others, but that's one of the big ones. Especially on tech and tech stocks, and also on a lot of the tickers in the IWM, so the Russell, so relatively small to medium size market listed companies. And then on Thursday we've got PPI. Now PPI is also a way to gauge what might happen to CPI. So these two are of interest next week. So with that in mind, we could see a situation where we have some sideways in the market on Monday, and then potentially a dip going into Tuesday. And if the numbers are good on CPI, i.e. the number comes down below expectations, so if it comes in under this, and if it comes in under this on an annualized basis, so anything below 3.1, we might see the market move higher, because if inflation is coming down, then it's less likely that the Federal Reserve will increase rates, and it's higher probability that they may reduce rates this year. So they're the numbers really to watch. And so if these numbers come in below expectation, we should see asset prices rise, stock prices rise. If they come in above expectation, then that might be a sign that we might get a big scary sell-off, which is a possibility. If it comes in at expectation, then we may just get a little bit of sideways to down. March and April going into May are expected to be negative months for stock prices. So wouldn't be surprised to see either sideways or down for the next couple of months. With that said, let's look at Supermicro Computer. So we've got this pivot high, pivot low, and we can use these to generate some fib targets, and this is great. So price has pushed through the 127 and then it's sold down. If we go down to lower time frames, we can see that it did push through and then sold off. Now this isn't a decisive break of the 127, so we're going to keep it there. If there was a decisive push above, maybe gone up to here, then we would discount the fact that 127 exists anymore, and we'd be looking at this and this level. We still are looking at those, but this is now a resistance level, a hurdle. So what we could see is, depending on how the data bomb plays out this week, we could see a dip, and it could go as low as 1,000. and then we could see an attempt to go much higher at some point. When is the key going to be a key question, right? So for the short term, we are potentially looking at at least a dip down to 1100, right? So let's mark that down. Okay, so we could potentially see a dip down to here. We don't need to because we've already tested it. But yeah, this candle's looking a bit sort of a bit like a rejection. Could try and push ahead really, but a dip down to 1100 is a possibility. And if there is excessive weakness due to data, you know, a potential dip down to as low as well, yeah, I mean, potentially down to as low as 1,000 really, between now and May is not out of the question. But we also need to be open to the idea that we could see another attempt to close. If you look down on much lower time frames, we can see here that there is this huge sell-off here, and so we could see an attempt to try and sort of get back up above to this level, which is a resistance area. So let's just stay on the hour for now. So generally bullish, short term a little bit bearish, even though we could see a push up and then come back down and then push up. So the swing play is going to be, so what are we looking for? So potentially a swing down. If price comes back down towards 11 or maybe the 1,000, then that is a swing opportunity, and then targeting kind of much higher prices. So initially going to be targeting around the, let's put this on here at 1,200. That is the initial swing target, but and if we can get above that, if we can clear this, then really these levels here, going out into the summer, are the areas of real interest that I'm going to be looking at. So there's a possibility of a little push up and then some weakness and then rebuilding a base to go further up. Time frame for that, the options chains are potentially looking at a 1,200 area by around June. So that gives us a few months really to sort of get into a swing position or find a good entry for a swing position, and that is what I'm going to be doing. All right, hope that was of value. We're going to keep up with this actually. We've got another couple of positions that we're also watching, including Google, which we posted a video on yesterday. Palo Alto Networks is taking a bit longer to base. Still have some hopes on that reaching target, and so we've got a few 3 or 4 tickers that we're actively watching and a couple of active positions, and SUPERMICRO computer is likely to become an active position if we get a good entry.